So, I have been doing a number of discovery calls the past couple weeks, and a really common phrase that I'm hearing a lot right now from people is, I know roughly what to do for myself, but I'm just not doing it. What is wrong with me? Why can't I do it? So, I wanted to talk about this today because it's coming up a lot and it's really important. A lot of times we can be at the place where we're gathering all the information, we're reading all the blogs, we're listening to all the podcasts, we're getting all the books, all the cookbooks, and everything, and we are getting so much information about how to use lifestyle and nutrition to support our health, which can be a really empowering place to be. But you might also find that you get to a place where it feels like, okay, I think I roughly know what I need to be doing, but it's just not happening. I'm not doing it. The conclusion that you can come to is that, well, I'm a failure because it seems like everybody else can do this. Why can't I do this? What I really want to highlight here is that you are not a failure. And there is nothing wrong with you because behavior change is a skill. So we can have all the information in the world, but if we don't have support, tools, and guidance on how to change our behaviors or bring these things in a way that supports us, wherever we are in our life at the moment, it's not going to be successful. And you may have had this experience, even like I said, of getting all this information, or maybe even you've gone through a course or seen a practitioner or something where you're given tons of information, right, and protocols, only to find that you didn't follow through, or that maybe you did it for a little bit of time when you had super high motivation, but as motivation started to wane and other things started to come in, you kind of fell off of that and went back to maybe where you were before, and it just didn't feel like anything stuck. So tell me if you've had that experience before. I really want to know. I've talked to so many people who have had that experience. And the conclusion, like I said, that we can come to then is, nothing works for me. I'm a failure. I can't do this. And that is super discouraging, especially if we don't feel good and we are trying really, really hard. So I see a lot of practitioners in our healthcare system who want to help clients but don't necessarily know how to support behavior change. And sometimes in our conventional medical system, I have seen this, working as a nurse for a number of years, result in fear and shaming as tools to attempt to get people to do something. So the practitioner might have really good intentions, wanting the client to, let's say, for example, lose weight, right? When I worked in a cardiac clinic, a lot of times the advice would be, you need to lose weight. And the way this is communicated is, you need to lose weight so that you don't have another heart attack. I've heard that phrase so many times, right? That's fear-inducing. So since these practitioners didn't necessarily have tools and guidance about how to help people implement behavior change, which again is a skill we have to learn into their lives, the idea is that by giving tons of information, by instilling fear into the person that this is something they need to do or else they're gonna have another heart attack, which may be true, right? But it's fearful. That is what I see a lot of practitioners having to resort to motivate change. The other time, and what we can also see with this as well is that that person might think, okay, yeah, I'm terrified. I don't want to have another heart attack. I want to go lose weight. They go back into the same environment, the same family setting, with the same cooking without actually knowing how to do that, because behavior change can be hard and there's a lot going on in all of our lives. So if you're going back into that situation without any tools, just fear, then you feel pretty bad about yourself. And you might try what you know, you might try to restrict food, you might try a number of different things, but if you don't have that guidance in how to actually create sustainable behavior change, it might not stick or it might not lead to long-term success. So then when you go back to your practitioner, you feel ashamed and you feel bad. And sometimes that might even be a way to motivate as well. So, I've personally gone to a rheumatologist that when I questioned the need for a new medication and asked for alternatives, he said, well, do you want to end up in the hospital? Because that's what will happen if you don't take this medication. So from his standpoint, he just wanted me to be compliant because he believed that I needed to take this, right? I wasn't sure that this new medication was something that I really needed at this moment in time. So his tactic for me was shame and fear. And instead of motivating me, because of course I don't want to go to the hospital, of course I don't want to get sick. Instead of motivating me, shame and fear was used, because that's the tactic when we don't actually have the guidelines for behavior change. So I want to know if you have had any of these experiences ever. Let me know in the comments. I've really worked with a lot of clients who have had these experiences, and we can see that it's nobody's fault. It's these systems and these ways of instigating change to come about because people don't work in behavior change. And that's why coaching is so critically important, and why I've chosen this as my career as a nurse and working in the system for so long, because it's the only way that we can actually be able to take knowledge and information and put it into practice in a way that makes us feel good and feel empowered and have fun with it and enjoy seeing ourselves change and transform. So when people come to me saying, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it, I know exactly how to help guide them because of all of this. And this is why my clients get such good results. It's not because I'm some like magic genie or anything, but really because we work very consciously in behavior change. And I know that fear-based tactics and that shaming don't work, and they don't feel good either. I've been on the receiving end of both of them, and they do not feel good. So I'm very conscious that we don't bring those in, because we have better ways to do this. We have new ways to do this. So if you are feeling stuck putting things into action, you might just need some guidance and information, but chances are you have been doing a lot of research and you've got a lot of information. But what I've been hearing in these discovery calls, and why I'm bringing this up, is a lot of people saying, okay, I roughly know what to do. I may need some help in specific areas for sure, but how do I bring this into my life? How do I do it, really? Because we can have all the information in the world, but if we're not doing it in a consistent, sustainable way, we're not going to get the changes that we want. We just aren't. We just aren't. And we can get stuck in a cycle like this too. So I teach these skills because this behavior change, they are skills in my one-on-one coaching. And these are tools that you have for life. So I don't just give people a list of foods to eat and not eat and say, cool, see you back, or dump a ton of information in, because I know that that doesn't work. I'm very, very conscious of this process. I've coached so many people through this process. And what I know is important is understanding how to identify the blocks that you are coming up against personally and be able to make you feel successful in what you're doing, because we are all successful. And it's not just relying on gritting our teeth and motivation to get through things. It's really understanding our why behind what we're doing. It's understanding our unique blocks we're coming up against. It's finding ways to be successful and implement change. It's looking at our underlying beliefs. It's looking at all of these pieces that actually help us bust out of these cycles and these blocks so that we can achieve vibrant health. Because if we're just stuck in this process of information, and nothing's actually feeling really good and simple and easy in our day-to-day lives, we see it play out like all these women and individuals that I spoke to over the last couple weeks that are going to be doing coaching. So I have seen clients go from feeling like they were massive failures, absolutely right, from like many encounters of in our conventional medical system. I know it sounds like I'm just like bashing that system. I'm not, because there's so much value in there. But when it comes to specifically behavior change, we know that it's broken. We know that it doesn't work. I've seen it, so many times. And there are some practitioners who are super keyed in and clued into this, and I love that. I love to see that. But I've seen clients go from feeling like they're a failure, feeling like change is not possible, feeling so stuck, to moving into this space of feeling confident, calm, ease, knowing with confidence that what they're doing on a daily basis is supporting their bodies, feeling excited when they see themselves make these shifts and changes, becoming to, learning that they don't lack motivation, that they're not lazy, that they're not failures, but in fact, the systems that they were using or trying to work through just weren't a good fit. And for some people, that is a good fit, just to get a bunch of information. That can be great. You can run with that. But for the majority of people, myself included, that guidance and support to learn the skills of behavior change is what is long lasting. That's for life. So when I work with people, you learn the tools for life, so that no matter what comes your way, you're able to pull out these tools and support your body through every single season, which is really, really important to me. So I needed to get this message out because I'd been hearing so many people just say that they felt like they were failures. And it makes me feel really sad because I understand it, and I've felt that before too, but that there is a different way. There is a different way. You are not a failure. You just haven't had the right tools or learned the right skills, because we don't just learn these things, right? We have to figure them out over the course of our life. And so that's what I help guide people through. That's why we can go from feeling really low, feeling like nothing works for us, feeling like we've tried everything, to seeing, oh my gosh, yeah, I actually do have this power. I can bring these things into my life. There is a really sustainable routine that feels great for me, so I'm not always on and off the wagon. We see these shifts happen, and it's really cool. So I wanted to give you that information and tell you that so you can know that deeply, in case you were sitting there too feeling like you're a failure, like nothing works for you. I want to assure you that you are not. So I'm super happy to help if you are in this place and you're feeling stuck. This is what I do. And it's so important to me to be able to do this work, because we all have this ability in us, no matter where you are at in your life and in your healing journey, and no matter what you have tried before, it is there. I assure you, I assure you, I assure you. So let me know if you need any help. I would love to know your thoughts and your experience around this as well. I find it a very interesting topic too. And I'm always here for more support. So I always offer free 30-minute discovery calls where we can just chat more about what's been going on for you. You can tell me about what's been standing in your way, some of the pieces that have felt challenging or hard. I can tell you more about myself too, and we can really just create a plan of action specifically for you, depending on where you're at and where you're wanting to go. So let me know. You can head to the link in my bio to book in, and I'm here to help. I'm here to help. You've got this. We can make this behavior change together. It's more important now than it ever, ever, ever has before.